You built the plane as you were falling.
Yeah, literally. Then we took those two products that sold really well, and we put them together, and we're like, well, it has to be great, right? And it didn't perform.
Okay.
And I think we're the first plastic neutral brand in the world.
My mom used to put that on our dog food all the time. I didn't eat the dog food, not our dog food that my mom and I used to eat together. There's dog food for the dogs.
So no like official marathon, no nothing.
No.
Holy
The
shit.
first actual event that I did was Two Oceans, and it was like 17 days before I emailed them. I was like, could I maybe get an entry? I had run a marathon before, but it was a self-marathon. Like I ran a marathon on Christmas. That was my first marathon, from Bloberg to like Chapman's Peak.
As we all do,
Yeah, as you do, woke up Christmas morning, thought I'm going to absolutely obliterate the lunch table, so let me bank some cows.
I mean, people have different problems. They're like, some guys are so, like, they eat and then they get fat. Some people just don't eat and they get skinny. You eat and you get jacked. It's like, shit, eh? Life stuff, eh? Everybody listening to this like, what a fucking...
Fuck this guy, bro.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond Physical, where we talk about the mental, emotional, social, and at times spiritual benefits of exercise. We believe that exercise is more than movement, and this podcast is our attempt at sharing that message with the world by sharing our own as well as our guests' experiences and knowledge. If you enjoy it, we ask that you please spread the message by leaving a rating and review, or even better, by sharing with a friend.
You get so like stuck in like the now, like where you are, what you're doing, the problems that you're currently facing. You kind of forget like where you came from.
I think it's natural to lean into like progress mode, and progress mode is very forward looking.
Yeah.
So you don't
like where you look back, it's like short-lived kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what like spurred on reflecting it. Oh, it was obviously the video. But I was like, geez, like that's actually pretty nuts. Like it's quite cool because I never do that. Like it's like I don't see it as useful. I think it's much more useful, like being present or a little bit forward looking. But I have like very little context of where PrimeSelf came from. So first, beforehand, can you just give a little background on yourself? Who are you? What do you do? We are recording right now, by the way.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I just saw the red thing was on, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm Tristan van Moerkerken, the founder of PrimeSelf. And yeah, PrimeSelf started unofficially in like 2016. So it's been better. So it's been what? 9 years now in the like unofficial making. And then officially since 2018, like business registrations 2018. So that's been like the official start of it.
Were you trading before you'd registered the business?
Training is in like fitness training?
Trading.
Oh, trading.
Like
Yeah.
Okay.
I was.
Okay, fine.
So it actually started with like a side hustle. Like I never intended for what I was doing to become a business.
What was the main thing at that time?
Nootropics, so like cognitive enhancers.
But like you said it was a side hustle, right? So what were you doing other than that?
Oh, I was studying.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was doing biochemistry, genetics at Wits. And I used to take Concerta and Ritalin. So that's like how the whole kind of like business origin began. And I didn't like the side effects that I got from Ritalin and Concerta, like gave me anxiety, didn't sleep, didn't eat properly. So it just wasn't great. And then from studying, I came across the like class of, or like the group of substances called nootropics, or AKA just like brain enhancers or cognitive enhancers. So like the same way you'll take something for gym, like proteins and creatines and aminos and that kind of stuff, you've got the equivalent for cognitive performance.
Would you consider creatine a nootropic?
Yeah. Of recent time, like a lot of studies have come out showing that it is now. And a super good one at that. But the nootropics that I was looking at, creatine wasn't really considered one at that point in time. So like long story short, I took what I learned then, I created this little like cognitive enhancing stack, like an alternative to Concerta and Ritalin. Started using that and started studying that at university as like a study aid. And then it just gained a bit of traction, and it turned from that product into the next product. And I just started making a bunch of products that kind of like fitted what I was looking for and what I thought other people were looking for. And then made a website and had a business partner, and that completely fell apart, and then started it again. And eventually it turned into what it is now.
So What made you think it was a good idea to start selling the thing? Because initially, I'm sure it was for your own benefit, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this actually works quite well. Let me sell it to people.
Man, just being a university student, like everyone
Okay.
wants to make like an extra buck.
Okay.
You either like bartending, waitering, tutoring. That was just my way of making a bit of extra cash, I guess.
And at what point in that journey, how long had you been selling it when you brought in a business partner?
So I actually didn't bring him in. It was a bit of a funny story.
Okay.
I made a website and I had a bunch of products, and he was doing a very similar thing in the same kind of space. And he had his brand and I had my brand, and we somehow connected because the sale of those nootropic substances that we were doing in SA was like first of its kind. No one was really doing that. It was a pretty like new thing in the entire kind of like international market as well. So he was giving me some of his advice. I was sharing some of my advice. We're sharing a little bit of suppliers, and we actually landed up trading products with each other to like fill our ranges.
Interesting.
So he was giving me things that I didn't have, and I was giving him things that he didn't have. And then we're doing that for a while, and then I think that lasted like 6 months. And we just had a conversation. We're like, look, we're doing the same thing. We're in the same space. Let's join forces and like make this one consolidated brand. And I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about agreements. Like what I know now would have been very different back then. But yeah, and that just went pear-shaped and pretty much restarted from scratch.
What was that brand called, if you can disclose?
My original brand was called ZA Nootropics. His brand was called... Actually, I can't remember what it was called.
And when you consolidated, what was it called?
That was called Upgraded Self.
Okay.
So the generated Upgraded Self. And then that went pear-shaped, and he created a brand called Neuroactive, and I created PrimeSelf.
Okay.
And then Neuroactive is actually a brand that we own now. Well, now we own that brand. That was the brand that we bought from him. We acquired him. Like we bought him out of the market.
That's
A
crazy.
couple of years later, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the financing to buy his business? Or was it in tatters and it was like a relatively well-priced, like affordable? No, it wasn't. Okay.
No, it was actually doing really well. It was doing better than my business is doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how did you pull things together? How did you make that work?
We raised money and we used the performance of our business. And what we did was we took that, we put together a proposal for an investor, and we're like, look, this is what our business is doing. This is what we think this business is doing. This is the money that we need to acquire this business, and we can plug that business into our business, and we'll reduce like a whole bunch of the overheads, and we'll like consolidate supply chain and do all these things to like optimize the performance of that business within ours. And we use that money to buy that, and we more than doubled in size overnight, which was like a learning curve in itself.
Did you have the capacity to manage that?
Not really, but we figured it out quite quickly on the move. Yeah.
Okay. How did you prevent that jump from tarnishing your brand? Because I think people don't understand when it comes to growth that I never understood that there is a sustainable level at which one can grow, and if you don't grow sustainably, you grow too fast, especially in a product kind of business, you might not fulfill orders, and
Things just
like
fall
there's
apart.
backlog and things fall apart. The system can't handle the demand. So how did you problem solve around that situation of growing so quickly?
Yeah, that's a good question, eh? I mean, this was 5 years ago. Definitely wasn't something I was thinking about or like really considering at the time.
You built the plane as you were falling.
Yeah, literally. And every problem that came up, we kind of like figured it out. And I think, thankfully, in hindsight, the businesses were so small that huge expansion or like doubling or tripling of the size of the business wasn't going to be like the only real downside is like fulfilling orders. The supply chain was still pretty much the same. The rest of it was still pretty much the same. We required the same amount of space. So I think the solutions were probably pretty easy in hindsight. If we were to do that now, I think the business would crumble.
You think so? If you had
Unless-
to more than 2x in size overnight?
Man, even just like the growth that we've been seeing over like the past 2 years has been super challenging. Because now it's not just like orders going out the door. There's a whole bunch of other things that come with it. You've got more people, there's more processes, there's like regulatory frameworks, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that needs to happen and needs to get like built along the business for it to run smoothly now.
How many people are in your team now?
20 or 22.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how close are you to everything? Like, how many conversations are you involved in around like day-to-day ops? Because I know some channels, like, it's not you, of course. It's like your team is handling stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, are you still very hands-on, or is it quite does the thing have quite a bit of agency and it moves without you?
Yeah, I'm hands-on in a lot more in like the marketing branding side. In operations, I'm pretty much not hands-on at all.
Why is that?
So we've got a partner in the business now, like invest in the business. He's come on as COO, and he's super waxed at what he does, and he's kind of like my right-hand man. So he takes on all of that, and I have very little like touch inside of that part of the business. I mean, I'll jump on a call every now and then, once a week, to get a bit of like an update, but I'm pretty detached from that side of the business. It's also not my strong suit. Like, I didn't study logistics or operations and all of that kind of stuff. So it's quite nice to be taken away from that. And then the marketing side is, because that's like a key like growth driver of the business. And that's where like all the products are coming from, the product knowledge, like that's where I thrive, and that's pretty much where I'm involved.
And as the business has grown over time, do you look at it and go, where can I offer the most value? Or do you look at it and go, like, what am I feeling drawn towards, and what is exciting me? And then you move into that.
Yeah, probably both, eh? Like, there's a lot of products that we launch that are literally just for me, and we, like endurance fuel is one of those. I think we give away more of that than we sell. Definitely doesn't make us any money, but that's something that I wanted and something that I thought was cool to add to the range. But for the rest of it, it's probably a bit of both. Like, the business is an extension of me. It's my brand. Like, it always needs to have some sort of like aspect of that in it. We're not just going to go like, okay, the market is demanding this, and we think this is going to sell super well, so we're going to go ahead and create that. There's always got to be some sort of like passion or love or like drive from my side, and then we make sure that it has market fit, and we think it will have appetite, and we go there.
And how, obviously, the original bread and butter being nootropics, and I see that a lot coming through now. I mean, like what we stock, I'd imagine that would be considered a nootropic, right? Like Prime Day.
Yeah.
So, how much of the core business is now made up of nootropics still? Because you have a bunch of other stuff, quite an extensive range of products actually. So how much of like would you say the nootropics are still the core business?
I wouldn't say we're a nootropics company anymore.
Okay.
Whereas like previously we probably would say that, PrimeSelf is nootropics. Now nootropics is kind of like it's just like a part of our business. It's kind of like shifted more towards like innovative supplements. So anything that's like innovative, trending, got like really good science behind it, that's kind of like where we playing now. But nootropics is always something that, because it is innovative and because it is trending and because it has so much like promise, we always have like some sort of like nootropic included to some extent. But I think we've got like 40 different products now.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's a very wide variety.
It might even be more than that. I know we've killed like 5 products now.
Which were those?
Keto collagen, which is like a combination of a keto creamer, which is a like coconut oil-based dairy-free creamer, and collagen. We took those 2 products that sold really well, and we put them together, and we're like, well, it has to be great, right? And it didn't perform.
Okay.
And then like in the mushroom range, we've got, I mean, you've heard of lion's mane, surely.
Yes.
Lion's mane is like all the trend, everyone's talking about it, but there's like a whole host of different mushrooms. You've got chaga, reishi, cordyceps, which is great for like sports performance, turkey tail, shiitake, etc., etc. And we launched lion's mane, did super well. We launched all those mushrooms, and we launched a mushroom blend. The blend and lion's mane has done super well. The rest has kind of not.
Okay.
So sometimes products are a hit, sometimes they're a miss. Sometimes products I think we're going to do, like we think they're going to do well, don't do well. and we like discontinue them now, and then we try bring in like make some room for more product, I guess.
It's interesting how it's shifted from a kind of, I don't know if I'd say mission driven, but like a personal problem related product. So you're using Concerta and Ritalin and wanting to have something that is a substitute without the side effects, that being like the inspiration behind the thing, to now it being more innovation based, and like trying to be at the cutting edge of the industry. Did you feel like that transition for you around what inspires you to do what you do was gradual, or was it like a moment where you're like, okay, I'm not really feeling as like connected to that original why, and it's more, I want to just innovate and make better things and introduce these kind of highly innovative products?
Yeah. That's a
How
good
was that?
question.
Yeah, how was that transition for you? Because as with a business myself, I also have experienced transitions like that.
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting thing.
Look, the business has changed shape and form a couple times. Like we've gone through products where we were only doing innovative formulas, and like that was the idea. We were going to make 5 or 10 core innovative formulas that were supposed to cover everything from A to B. So a sleep formula, a brain formula, a gut formula, an anti-aging formula, like key kind of like groupings. And then we shifted it completely, and then we introduced like an entire line of single ingredients and went super, super broad, and then that didn't do well. And then we were like, okay, we need to like rethink this. And I don't think there was necessarily like a single defining point, but as a business, like it has to operate, and as a brand, it has to have like a key kind of like, North Star that you're following. And we had a whole bunch of different stars and a whole bunch of different concepts, and we kind of just like threw them at the wall, and if it stuck, it stuck, and if it didn't, it fell off, and we tried again. And then eventually we got to where we are today, where like we've got a pretty clear understanding of like what our mission is and what we're going to do, and that's just creating like awesome products that you can trust. So we want to be known as the brand that doesn't matter if you're picking up a protein powder or a magnesium or a nootropic, you just know that if you're getting it from us, it's going to be good, and that you can trust it, and that the right ingredients have been used at the right dosages and from the right places, and that's just kind of become the mission, or what the brand is now.
What does the process look like if you have this idea? Let's say it's not you though, it's not the founder, it's someone else within the team is like, I think this would be a great product that would help people a lot and would be good for, the business. How's that process? How do you hear it, assess it, get feedback, and then take it into develop? Like, how does that whole process look like?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, because it's like my brand and my baby. It's not always received in like the best way, because when other people are giving you ideas, you're like, no, that's not how this is going to go. It has to come from me, and it's my baby, and it's my brand. So I've kind of learned to be like a little more receptive to that, and we get a lot of that. Everyone sees an idea, and they see a product in the market or some ingredients, and they send through an idea, and they're like, oh, this could be great. What I have to do then is be like, okay, well, do we think this fits the brand? Do we think we could do it really well or better than what's currently available? And ultimately, do we think people are going to want it? And then if we can tick those boxes, then we'll put it into development. But sometimes the requests are like a little outside of like our scope of expertise. Like we don't really specialize in like hair, skin, and nails, or it's like another decent example, like the ultimate like proper sports supplementation. Like it's not really us. We don't do pre-workouts and aminos and like that kind of stuff. And we've gone down the road of making formulas and concepts and potentially like being on like the edge of launching them, and then we kind of go back on it. Like hydration product, Revive, obviously. We had an electrolyte concept, back in like, we actually looked at it recently because we're putting some product labels for a bit of a legal drama, and I think it was in like 2019 or something, we had our Prime Hydrate electrolyte concept, and it just never went to market. And then Revive came along, and they just nailed it out of the park, and we just couldn't do it better than them, so we don't. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's fair. It's it's interesting because for me, I've always perceived Prime as a sports performance brand. Like that's what I thought it was. I didn't know, and of course, like having a brain that performs well does enhance your sporting performance. Of course, mental acuity and things like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it wasn't like that out the gate. Which is quite interesting.
If you saw packaging from so prior to the current look and feel of the brand, if you saw that packaging, it'd be like, this is 100% like a hardcore thermogenic sports brand.
Was it like quite clinical and white and?
No, it was completely black, like super hard
really?
edges. Yeah, it looks
Geez,
like
totally different.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah, because your packaging is very friendly and welcoming.
Yeah.
It's very much like light. It's not hardcore.
Yeah.
At all. What's super interesting, speaking of people giving you, and I was actually asking more from like internally, the internal process of product development. I think it came across maybe as like if I had to be like, would you guys make this kind of thing?
Yeah.
In terms of, because I know, for instance, one of our front of house messaged one of your distributors and was like, you guys should like do this thing. I think it would help. And the feedback was like pretty, I think, reasonable. But it's so interesting because we took some time to move the protein powder, and we're all convinced it's because of the high barrier to entry, because we had the Prime Day and Night on the shelves, and they also didn't sell for a while. And then we're like, guys, we need to get singles. Then we got those little stands, put the singles in. People start buying the singles, lower barrier to entry, and then the boxes start moving.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, like surely we can do the same with the protein. And of course, there's cost involved. It's not you don't sell like boxes of protein sachets. So it's like a whole different sort of manufacturing process. I understand. But we were like, that was our thought. It was like, I wonder if you applied the same kind of trick to protein, if you would see a similar uptick, and how do you do that other than I suppose just like making a serving for somebody and giving it to them? How would you like almost marginalize the consumption of that product that comes in like a hefty, $750 or $800 hit? Because a lot of people like mentally can't stomach that. I mean, I've been having protein since I was like 11, so I know that's
find
normal.
what you like, and that's
like,
it.
Or I would be willing to be like, this is a new thing, okay, like I'll buy it. I know that's like what it costs. But a lot of people who are new into the category, they like, I don't know if I'm willing to like take that risk because I don't know what it's about. And so, but it was fascinating. It was such a cool test with the day and night. It was amazing because we had stocked Revive before. We still do, and the singles of those sell very well. And we put your products on the shelves with the Revive, and then they were not moving until we got the singles. Then they were going epic. Quickly, like super, super quickly.
Okay.
And it was like the most amazing thing because I spoke to Megan from Up about it. Where I was like, if you make the barrier to entry lower, I think it does your product such a favor, because like with her doing the clothing, I was like, you can't cut a sleeve off of your garment and be like, here, try like a 50 Rand. It's like you're in for the $600 or nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's much harder to do samples, get people to try.
Everyone wants to try before they buy.
100%.
Yeah, look, I mean, if we could do protein samples, ultimately we probably could. It goes back to it being like a business, and the protein part is like not our core offering.
100%.
We introduced that as like an accessory product. Like guys are shopping with us, they're shopping on our site, they're buying they're filling their basket up with like the normal stuff that they get from us. But they're also buying protein, they're also buying collagen, they're also buying, a couple other things, and they would love to be able to get it from us. So we introduced it as a product for that. It's like a basket filler.
Mm.
But we did it in like a PrimeSelf way, like it's grass fed and, you know, made from all the good stuff. If protein was like one of our like core products, it would 100% make sense for us to introduce single sachet servings, and maybe someday it would. But you know, like small business, when you have so much capital, like we got to focus that money where like it's really going to move the needle.
Yes, where there's most leverage as well.
Exactly.
It's
So like introducing a new products, or, you know, making samples of like day and night. Like we introduced a trial pack because of exactly like what you're saying. Like people love the sample, but sometimes you need more than one to give it a try. So we introduced like a week pack, and then people started buying that, and the retention or conversion from that to the full box has been incredible.
Yeah, I think at like every brick and mortar retailer, like when you sell the people the first like batch, like in their box should be those little stands. But it makes such a big difference. Like it's actually wild how it was like literally night and day. No no pun intended.
Unintended, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. And they're really nice. Like they're also like eye catching.
Yeah, packaging's awesome on them. Yeah, I think the biggest, and like you're saying it now, like you had it next to the Revive, like one of the biggest challenges we face is everyone thinks it's an electrolyte, but it's not an electrolyte. Yes, it's got like an electrolyte base, because that's kind of like, it was our way of introducing an electrolyte into the market, but it's not an electrolyte. Like that thing's got like a fully loaded B vitamin complex inside of there. There's nootropics. Like the electrolytes are like secondary to that concept.
Why do you think people are perceiving it that way?
Because they're just trending, eh? Like electrolytes are so popular. Everyone's talking about it. It's just like a health trend to take electrolytes, and they're super easy to understand. You know, like, oh, you sweat, you lose some salt, you put it in a sachet in a bottle, you drink it, you replace it. So I think we've kind of just been like grouped into that bucket.
But is it also maybe because your retailers don't understand the product fully?
Yeah.
I suppose your main selling point is, I mean, your main channel is, I'm assuming, your e-commerce store. It's not us. It's not like an aggregation of like physical stores.
It used to be like 90% e-commerce, and now the brick and mortar side of the business has grown significantly.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think we're like a third now.
Wow.
A third being e-commerce, a third being marketplace, and a third being brick and mortar.
What's marketplace?
Like Take-A-Lot, Amazon.
Oh, okay, I see. That's cool. That like spreads your risk a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very interesting. Which segment are you seeing growing the quickest of the three?
Marketplace grew the quickest in the past 2 years because it went from nothing to like being like a third of the business. Currently, the fastest growing and most consistently growing is our brick and mortar space, because that went from nothing to now a third of the business, and would probably exceed online and marketplace in the next
crazy
couple months. Yeah,
that is so counter to what like you'd think.
Yeah, but it's because like online shopping's great and super convenient, but guys like to go into a shop and buy something.
Also, so the South African consumer still hasn't fully adopted online shopping.
Yeah,
I think we're still a little bit behind. Like my girlfriend's brother did he works as he's a management consultant. He did like a big research thing into where e-commerce is at, and I don't remember exactly what the results were, but like adoption is still a long way off in South Africa, and it's quite interesting. I mean, we still have such a big mall culture. People love shopping at the malls.
It's weird, eh? I don't, eh? But you go there and you see everybody there.
It pumps.
Yeah,
it's crazy, the foot traffic in malls.
But foot traffic sells. Like the more places you're in, the more people, like the more eyes you get on your product. And it's like out of home advertising as well. Like the more places our products are, the more people are seeing it. Then they see it online, and they see it somewhere else, and eventually that lands up being a conversion.
Yeah, it's a different. It's actually got multiple aspects of value for you guys, because like even just being on a shelf of a high foot traffic space, then even if you're not making sales, you're getting a bit of brand awareness, exposure. So there's that part of it as well.
Yeah, like having it here, like as you walk into the gym, it's like advertising for us, which is
yeah, that is very true. What do you enjoy the most in terms of a distribution channel? Like, which one excites you the most? Which is like, and what feels the easiest?
The easiest is probably online. The most challenging is brick and mortar because you're dealing with people are difficult.
Mm.
Online's nice. It's like, how can we get more people onto the website? And you do that through like advertising, paid media, campaigns, whatever it is. How can we make sure that their like experience is as good as possible? And then how can we make sure that they keep coming back? You know, and I think because I started the business there, and like I've always been good with like online and digital, and like what are we, millennial, Gen Z, Gen X? Like that's like the world that we've grown up in.
Yes.
Whereas like brick and mortar, like I don't like the shops. I never really go to the shops.
Yes.
Probably going to be like the last person to be able to give advice on that kind of thing.
Interesting. There was something. What was it now? Brick and mortar, e-commerce. It's gone now.
Need nootropics.
I do need nootropics, bro. That's actually a big like selling point I use for the day is like it's really cool because it genuinely helps with mental acuity, but it doesn't keep me awake at night.
Yeah.
Like I usually have a caffeine window, but that product doesn't have caffeine in it, right?
Yeah, it's caffeine free.
Yeah, so I can have it at like 3 and I can still go to sleep on time.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it in the evening because like it's got alpha GPC, and that's definitely like in the evening you want your brain to kind of like switch off. You don't want to take something that's going to like turn it on regardless of stimulants, but you can definitely take it like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock even.
I remembered what I wanted to ask. How have you managed to cut through the noise in quite a crowded industry? I mean, I know that from the beginning you were quite specific about what it is you guys were doing, and that's perhaps helped quite a bit. But how have you done that? Because supplements, that space, it seems very saturated and new businesses pop up, every other day.
Yeah.
So how have you guys managed to kind of ring fence a space in people's minds?
So the supplement industry, I think, is like previously, the way that I like to think of it is there was sports supplements, like the likes of like Biogen, USN, Evox back in the day, SSN, like all those guys, like gym supplements. Then you had like your vitamins and minerals, and like you went to your disc game or your clicks and you got your metagenics, and that range of products slowly became like pretty outdated, I think. And then there was like this middle ground, which I call like functional supplementation, that kind of like bridges the gap between sports supplements and vitamins and minerals. And we were like, well, there's a bit of an opportunity here. Let's try fill this gap in the middle. And all that we've done is just been like, how can we do it in like true to ourselves in the best possible way? We're like the consumer in mind, like I'm creating these products for me, so they're going to be great. And then by virtue of that, like other people will enjoy them and also find them really good. And just by focusing on like quality, transparency, like those kind of things that just build trust and trust. Trust is like the most important thing I think in supplements these days. Like people have become so health conscious. They want to know, where's this milk coming from? Like, were the cows petted nicely?
I'm one of those people.
Like, what kind of water did they drink? Did you give your cows tap water or filtered water? And people have become like really like gung-ho on that kind of stuff. So we've just, because that's exactly what we do, we make sure that the ingredients are coming from like the best quality places, and we have like as much transparency as we possibly can on our products and how they're made and what's inside of them. I think that's kind of like how we've positioned ourselves in the market.
There's also a really interesting thing on your website. Like there's a big, I think it's social impact or sort of like a
plastic
mission.
Neutral.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where did that come from? What inspired that side of things?
I always just want to do good. Hey, like I've always tried to do like a little bit of charity work or try to do something nice for the world, and like never going to be able to make that, my bread and butter. Like you can't do charity work for a living. Well, some people can, I guess, but we just want to use the brand to do good. And we've tried to use glass packaging and, make it like eco-friendly as we can, but like that had its own complications. Like glass shipping as e-commerce was just a disaster. You can't ship glass.
Mm.
And if you're going to ship glass, you're going to wrap it in bubble wrap, and it kind of defeats the purpose. So we found this thing called, I should know exactly what it's called. Anyways, the idea is we fund every little bit of plastic that we put into the environment. We fund an initiative that removes that amount of plastic from the environment.
Okay.
And I think we're the first plastic neutral brand in the world. I
Wow.
could be wrong, but
Interesting.
But one of the first then maybe.
How much, what percentage of each sale does that equate to, generally speaking?
Very small percent. I don't know the exact percent.
Sure. So more companies should do it then.
Yeah, it's not going to break the bank. Like it wasn't this is going to make the brand unprofitable. It was just like, it's a nice thing to do, and it's our way of like saying sorry for putting plastic into the environment. And the next phase of that is to become plastic negative, where we're removing more plastic or an excess of what we're putting in, and like it creates jobs, it removes it from the environment. Like, yeah, our plastic is still going into the environment, but it's PET, recyclable, whatever. But at least we're doing something to get it out.
What sort of due diligence and kind of background did you do into the company that you obviously work with to do the removing? How did you find them?
I don't know how we came across them. I think we saw a beauty brand that was using it, and through that we saw there were like one or two players in the market, and they just had great reviews, and they're working with some like really reputable brands, so we kind of jumped on it and took them on.
Okay.
And you had to do like a whole process in the beginning of like, how much packaging do you use, how many sales are you making, what are you using in terms of like your business operation as well. It's not just the plastic that your products are going into the environment. And then you kind of just like create a formula that will work with like the growth of the business. So like as you grow and as you sell more products, I think every 6 months or something we review our sales and kind of like where we are, and then we change the fee structure or whatever it is that we're using with them to either fund an additional initiative or add funding to the current initiative.
And then in terms of like always wanting to do good, is that something that you've just kind of had as a part of your life always, or was there something that inspired that approach?
I think it's just important that like everyone must give back at all. Just think, like do good things and good things come to you.
Yeah. Also, I suppose if everyone does that, then the world is better.
Exactly.
And in terms of new things and innovation, is there anything that's in the pipeline at the moment that you're very excited about that you could speak to? You don't have to fully disclose, but what's happening in the R&D department at the moment?
Yeah, so we're working all of our new launches for next year. One of the products which we've talked about doing for probably like the past year or two that we were hoping to actually have out like 6 months ago, just never came about, and that's something that you can drink, which is quite cool. But like with any new format, it's like the day and night product. When we made that, we like traditionally made capsule products. We had like the R&D process down for that super wax, like getting from concept to R&D to like product landing was like really, really waxed. Then when you added something in that had like flavoring and a powder and a sachet, there was like a whole bunch of things that came up that kind of like stopped us from getting the product onto the market when we wanted it to. And the same for this. It's like a new format. It's a liquid. It's proving to be like a little more difficult than we thought, but super, super excited about that. And then we've also got some new products that are kind of going outside of the range. Like all our products for adults, like 18 and up. It's kind of just like the warning on everything, because the dosages that we use are made for fully grown people.
Okay.
And we're kind of like expanding outside of that, which is also quite exciting. Prime Pets has been a popular request. Not that we're doing a pet product, but
that would be sick.
Yeah,
like pet supplements.
Yeah.
My mom used to put that on our dog food all the time. I didn't eat the dog food, not our dog food that my mom and I used to eat together. The dog food for the dogs. She had like this. There was like this kind of like vitamin dust that she'd like put on the pellets, which was pretty cool. Brew, I think a pet supplement would be crazy. It's totally out of like different, and there's obviously a huge industry, I'm sure, for it already. But pets are on the up. Guys, anyone listening to this, pets on the up, jump in on that.
Yeah. And
I
if you want
think,
us to do it, let us know.
Yeah, more people are like getting into, or it feels like more and more people have like dogs and things. I feel like you're next, Mark. You don't have pets in the pipeline. Do you have dogs?
I got 2 dogs, yeah. If I could give my
Cute.
lives to them, like years of my life, I 100% would.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's how people feel about their pets.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll do fucking anything for my.
you see, that's why I'm also holding off, bro. I don't need that. I don't need that. Like, when I have it, I will definitely be on that kind of like devotion to my animals. But like, I grew up with dogs, and like, I fucking love those dogs, bro. Dogs are the best. They are so lovely.
Yeah.
Like, they're so sweet, but it's like a kid. I think, feed it,
No, it's hectic, man.
wipe its butt,
They're full
take it to the
time.
vet.
Yeah, full time.
Are your dogs on supplements?
We give them collagen and like a little bit like raw feed every now and then.
Nuts, bro.
And
What kind of dogs are they?
2 like shepherd mixes. The one's like
okay.
he's a rescue, so we don't really know what he is, but he's like a Malinois shepherd crossed with a something else.
Okay.
And then the other one's like a long-haired German shepherd.
Okay.
And
Got to get them on that raw diet, bro.
yeah, but it's like it's a hack, eh? Like kibble's so easy, man. It just sits in a tub, you scoop it out, you put it in the bowl. But we'll like throw it on as a topping for them. They get like the only treats that they get are lamb liver and like chicken heart and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then we buy like these like raw feed tubes, and they're supposed to be like full raw fed diet kind of. That's what the product is, and we'll just like give them like a quarter of that on top of their food every now and then as like a treat.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's such a, like that sentiment of like shaving years of your life for your dogs. I think it's becoming a way more commonplace.
Yeah.
And I think I read somewhere that, but you must definitely fact check me, that there are now more dogs being adopted in the US a year than babies being born, or some crazy stat like that. Like, it's
Dogs are better than people, bro. I'm telling you.
I know. I won't dispute that. I love a dog. They're so pure. Like,
Yeah.
they just have love.
They live for you. They just want you. That kind of story.
They unconditionally love you.
Yeah.
You can be the worst, and they'll just still come and be like, "You're the best, man. I just want to hang out with you right now." Like, shit. And any sort of any interesting events in the pipeline for you? I know you had a go at a sub-3 a couple of years ago, or a year ago.
Last year ran a solid 3:03.
Powerful.
Cape Town Marathon.
That's a big shift.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a sub-3, and it had a nice little like, what's this stretch on the prom here? Like 4Ks, nice little 4K walk.
Oh, really? Yeah. The what's a loop of death or whatever.
Yeah. I was supposed to run sub-3 this year, and then obviously Cape Town Marathon got cancelled. But funny enough, I actually pulled out like 3 weeks before.
Okay.
Things had just been too hectic, like work. We got engaged. We had friends getting engaged. Business has been super hectic. Lots of traveling. Next year, sub-3 is definitely on the cards, and a better 2 Oceans Ultra if I can get an entry to Oceans. And yeah, more than that, I don't know. Hey, I've been doing a lot of trail running recently, so maybe end of next year will be a UTCT.
I would highly recommend. It's a good event all across.
Yeah. One thing I've realized is that miles on the trails are not the same as miles on the road, eh?
No.
Like 20Ks, 30Ks on the road doesn't sound like ridiculously far, but on the trail it is fucking that's a long day.
It is very long. It's just all the vert. It's like you're climbing, and that slows you down, and also does a lot to
your legs.
The legs, yeah. So, okay. So potentially a UTCT. Otherwise, sub-3. You're looking for that in the May Cape Town Marathon. Yeah,
probably so. I mean, shit, everyone really wants to run a sub-3 marathon, and it's like 3:03, 3:04 sting super, super bad. And that's like why I pulled out of the marathon now. It's like, like a 4 hour and a 3 hours, like the same thing. Like a 3:01 and a 4 hour is going to be the same.
It's vastly a very, very big time difference.
No, but like mentally, like,
oh, fine.
If you're not going to run the goal that you wanted to, like missing it by a minute and missing it by an hour is like the same kind of thing. And like, I'm not a professional runner. Like, I don't need to go there being super hard on myself and sulking afterwards. Like, also supposed to do it for fun.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, definitely wanted to run a sub 3. I think I'll be super proud of myself for doing that. And then give 2 oceans another crack. And this time, hopefully, run up and down. Have you done 2 oceans?
I have. It was actually the first official event that I did. Very, very ill-advised, unprepared.
So no like official marathon, no nothing.
No.
Holy
The
shit.
first actual event that I did was 2 Oceans, and it was like 17 days before I emailed them. I was like, could I maybe get an entry? Like,
Don't you have to run a marathon qualifier to get a?
so I did a fundraiser where I had run a marathon before, but it was a self marathon. Like I ran a marathon on Christmas. That was my first marathon from Bloberg to like Chapman's Peak.
As we all do, yeah.
Yeah, as you do, woke up Christmas morning, thought I'm going to absolutely obliterate the lunch table, so let me bank some cows. That wasn't why I did it. But I did that, and then I also ran a 50K fundraiser that was also like a self-support, like a self-made thing, and they accepted a screenshot of my 50K as like a...
At least you had some like miles on the legs. It wasn't like you went from running a park run to...
Yes, yeah, true. But my body thought it was because I got plantar for like 4 weeks. I basically couldn't do anything after that 2 Oceans thing. But I got COVID, and the one upside of COVID was I was bedridden for like 10 days, and my plantar healed. Yeah, it healed from COVID.
What is a plantar, like shin splints?
No, it's like a tendon inflammation under the foot. Plantar fasciitis. It's very common it's very common overuse injury in runners. It's usually a symptom of too much too soon. So not periodizing properly into what the load your body can handle.
I think that's like most running injuries. It's everyone's struggling with like shin splints, knee. Everybody loves to go from nothing to everything.
It's because we also have this like perception of more is better, which is like not necessarily true. I mean, I'm sitting with that now. I've had a cold for a week. I'm like 90%. And today I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready to kind of do something again. And then I thought, you know what, today discipline looks like not training. Like that is what the discipline thing is. Because because I was saying to Mark earlier, I was like, I feel like this cold has stretched because every time I get to this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go. And I do a session, like 2-hour zone 3, whatever. The next morning I'm back to 50%. Like I get sick again. So yeah, it's a lot of the time the thing that you need is just a bit less. And
that's hard though, because you're always telling yourself like, I know that I tell myself, I'm like, am I being lazy? Am I like, should I be doing this? Am I just like making excuses? So
I feel like the like mental cue I picked up on was like, do I want to run? Yes. Which means that like fighting that urge to run, I know I'm being disciplined by doing that. Like I'm doing what I need to do, not what I necessarily want to do. What I want to do is I want to run today. Like, so it's not like I'm being lazy, because I feel like laziness is when you're like I don't really feel like it, like it's like if you do feel like it, but you probably shouldn't, that's like this. I feel like that's a smart thing to do, but it's very difficult to like pick up on those cues from yourself. Because sometimes you can, and I tried, like it's a head cold. So it's like, I can train, let me train. And then it was just bad. It wasn't good. It was a silly thing to do. But I feel like you have to expose yourself often enough to those situations of like, do I train, don't I train, and see how your body responds. And then you go, okay, cool. Like, let me download that data point of like what that experience was like, and then revisit it the next time I'm in that position. Okay, you had this last time, you'd like put in a big like 4 days of work, and like you woke up on the Friday, you had a run scheduled, you didn't feel like the run, you didn't do the run, you felt like shit afterwards for not doing the run. Okay, let's do it this time and see. Oh, cool, you feel good. Okay, now I know, like if I'm feeling tired from work, I should still go and train, because like I've had the thing. Maybe if it's like a chronic fatigue of like every run you're waking up and you're like, I cannot do this, then you're probably burnt out, and you're not being lazy, you're just like, you need to chill for a bit. But I do not think that that's like a formulaic thing. It's so it has to be lived. You have to
figure out for yourself.
Yes.
And like,
you have to be exposed to it. Because I know, like, one of the members here, she's a flippin' savage, Carla. Like, we're talking about, I was on a panel with her once speaking about training on your period. And she was like, I just fucking don't think about it. I'm
Just
like,
gotta
I
do
just
it.
fucking go and
Yeah.
get it done. Like, I don't. And then, like, you speak to another person and they're like, no, like, I like take it easy and whatever. It's like, for Carla, like, that works. For the next person, that would not work. You know, it would, like, and like, she's a pro athlete. The next person is like, park run, whatever. It's like, if you're getting like serious cramps or something, maybe it's not going
Be
to
kind to yourself. Like
be kind to
yeah.
yourself, whatever. You and I might have similar goals, so maybe we approach it in a similar way. You know, both have businesses, both do running as like a thing to like supplement life. It's not like paying the bills, so you can like approach it in a similar way. But yeah, it's like, it's a tricky one to figure out. But I think the pulling out of Cape Town Marathon was a good idea, bro. I did that. I also pulled out of Cape Town Marathon, but not. I still ran Cape Town Marathon, but I started the year prepping for a sub 250, and I was in prep for like 3 weeks. I was like, this is, something's off. Like, I'm not.
So when did you make the decision? Beginning of the year?
Yeah, to pull out.
Okay.
But I still ran it. But I was pacing my girlfriend, which is a totally different experience.
Yeah.
She's like, unfortunately for me, she's not slow, so it wasn't like it wasn't necessarily like a leisurely marathon, if you can even have one of those. But it wasn't like I'm on the absolute edge of falling apart,
Yeah.
kind of max effort.
Yeah. We
kind of
might run
thing.
42. We might walk 5.
Yes,
that kind of thing.
exactly. Because I also had the exact same thing. I was like a little bit like, there were too many things happening. I don't know what we were doing at that time, and it was peak season. It was peak season. I'd done like another 2 events in the build up to like entering that new prep, and I just wasn't like 100% primed for another big build. So I actually took 6 months off of like structured running training.
Yeah.
It was the best thing I've done.
Exactly. I mean, like, I think if you're not doing this for a living, like, there's no point in forcing yourself through it and taking something that you probably like. I assume you love running. You probably wouldn't do it if you didn't. And it's the same for me. Like, I don't want to force myself into doing something and then drain the love that I have for it away.
Yes.
And then it just, like, I don't have to do it. So sometimes just taking a step back and not doing it is like the best way to go. And man, was I like, shit, I feel sorry for everyone that did prep up until the D-Day and it got cancelled. But like, fuck, I was relieved.
Really?
I would have been, if I forced myself to like really force those sessions in and like sacrificed everything from like engagement parties to birthdays to like not being present with friends and family to be getting in those sessions and then feeling mukh all day because you've done those kind of sessions and then got to the night or got to the start line and was cancelled, I would have been fucking livid.
Yeah, that would have been a big bummer.
Yeah, I would have had a sense of humor failure.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you sacrifice so much to do it, and like the training that you put in for like a PB and the training that you put in just to do a race, I think, are very different. And like once you're like conditioned to running bigger distances, like, not that I'm super conditioned, but like running a marathon is not the challenge anymore. It's like running a marathon in like a certain time that becomes a challenge. And like then those two things are very different. Like the one's very taxing and the one's probably not very taxing.
And taxing in a very different way.
Yeah.
It's a big mental tax, you know.
Yeah.
You watching the clock. Every session is like very, very intentional. There's like it kind of filters out into every aspect of, I mean, I don't know about you, but like for me going into a prep, it's also because I like lifting a lot. I often will do a weight cut, and that it makes a massive difference to your life. Like, I track like every gram of every morsel of every
Seriously?
item of food that I eat, because it's like my body likes to responds very like quite aggressively to weight and food. So I have to be super meticulous around controlling that if I want to come in with a certain shape that's going to support whatever my goal is.
Yeah.
So there's that element as well, you know, where
Yeah. But you start pouring on like other cups, you know, like social occasions take a hit, friends take a hit, relationships take a hit. Like you've only got so much liquid in all your different cups, and when you're trying to like in that prep or that block, like you're pouring all of like little bits that you have into that one glass to make sure that that's your like core focus. Like if lifting is something that you enjoy, you're going to take a little bit out of the lifting glass. If having a couple beers on a Friday is what you enjoy, you're going to take some out of that glass, because you're not going to be able to do that and then wake up on Saturday and hit like a 2-3 hour session and then wake up the next day and do it again.
Yeah, I also in those kind of headspaces go into like quite a binary mode where it's like, is this thing supporting the end outcome I'm working towards, yes or no? And if it's a no, then the thing is it's going to struggle to like work its way into my whatever it is, you know, like, okay, I'm hungry right now, but like, am I going to have croissant? It'd be delicious, but it's going to like help me be a little bit trimmer so that I can, no, so I'm not going to have it. And it's like those things also, like if you had to add that up over like a 3 or 4 month prep, because a lot of it is social, but I think the social no's happen literally just because of sleep. Because like, if you want to get your stuff done and you're still training, you don't really have the kind of time budget to socialize around regular social times, unless you can sort of smush it into your like work life. That kind of works nicely. My work's quite social. I get to see Mark all the time. That's great. That's good for my for my mental health. But like otherwise, prep time is like it's not particularly social. So I can 100% like relate to if it's like engagement time and like, bro, I don't want to be in prep in that time. Like that's wild. So like I want to have beers and
be with family, be with friends, do a thing, not like, have to wake up at like 5 a.m., 4:30 to go get a session done. But there's always balance, you know, like you gotta figure that out, and everyone's got priorities, and I think like priority shift and change as well. So you track everything that you eat.
Yes, I love
liquids, little bits.
I don't track my water, but everything for the last. I think today's actually might be day 90, bro. I'm gonna hit 100-day streak
of tracking everything every single day.
Today's day 89. Yeah.
Oh shit.
But the thing is, I love that element of preparation. I love getting my shit together, you know, like, because I feel like I'm giving myself the best shot at getting the thing right.
And you have like specific, you'll eat these times, like you
not timed, no. Okay. So work is my priority in life. Horizon is my priority, and the people that I love are my priority, and food and training is my passion and my love. So those things fit in around the two priorities. So my people that I love and my work, that is like fixed, like I fix it in, and like then the training and the food kind of like it's like the people and the work are the big stones, and then the food and the training is the sand, like in the jar, like it just fills in around where it sort of can. Because I also know I love my training so much, and I'm dedicated to it to the degree where I know if I've got to eat at like a certain like silly hour, or I'm going to do it. Like I will do it because it's like fun for me to make sure that I've got all my stuff sorted, and I know that like I want to do my workout, so I will do it. Whereas if I push something that's like a priority but not a passion slightly to the side, it could slip away.
Yeah, it's got a higher chance of something that you love doing or enjoy doing getting done.
100%. So it's like it is like very like it's kind of like a bit obsessive, but because I find it fun, it's like it's a major like amplifier of my experience. Because I can also feel the difference in like my performance, and because training is like my main recreational outlet, anything that amplifies that for me is like so worth extra effort. So like if being 3 kilos lighter is going to make a 4-hour long run feel 0.5% or like 1% better, it's worth it. It's worth it. Like it's so worth it.
So is most of your calorie tracking around like reducing intake?
Yes.
Okay.
It's controlling the intake because I'm a big eater, love food.
Yeah.
I thankfully I'm not like, I don't have like a major like I don't like shit food. Like I like well sourced whole foods,
Yeah, chicken
beautiful
and rice.
steak, chicken and rice, brew, Droevorst, Frankie Fenner, that kind of
Okay.
shit.
So it's not like a croissant and a chocolate and a sweets and
No.
a like one of
No.
McDonald's after work kind of thing.
Weirdly enough, like that kind of food I eat because I haven't had enough carbs and I've
So you
run
just
out of
wanna get the
time. I'm like,
calories
hey,
in.
let me have a croissant and like a
Yeah.
bag of gummy sweets because like that's gonna help. Like because I'm like naturally eating much more unprocessed stuff, and then you'll have gaps in things. But yeah, most of the time it's like controlling my portions and tracking the food so that I don't eat too much, because even though I eat mainly whole foods, I can still overeat because I enjoy eating a lot.
Yeah.
And then when you're lifting, you put those two together, and also naturally my palate is like very inclined towards high protein, high fat, and the high protein with like wanting to lift a lot.
Just
You,
getting
you
jacked.
you get jacked, bro, and it's like shit. I'm trying to drop weight, and it's like not conducive to losing size. Like the first almost 2 months of this weight cut, I just recomped, didn't lose any weight, which was very cool, but like not conducive to the goal. But then eventually, like now over the last like few weeks, like it's just like coming off, which is really cool.
It's funny. People have different problems. They're like, some guys are so like they eat and then they get fat. Some people just don't eat and they get skinny. You eat and you get jacked. It's like shit, eh? Life stuff, eh? Everybody listening to this like, what a
It's like, fuck
fucking
this guy, bro. So funny, dude.
yeah.
And also I'm here being like an absolute douchebag complaining about it.
You know, like, hey, like
Oh my
2
god.
extra steaks this week and fuck like arms have put on like 4 extra centimeters and
Yeah, I've got striations in my quads, like basically ready for bodybuilding competition. No,
Yeah.
but it is also probably down to like excessive stimulus. Like I've been lifting weights for 14 years, so my body's like it's like well in tune with that kind of exposure. And I don't know, I
it used to be a lot more jacked than you are now.
No. Pre-weight cut, yes. Mark actually was looking at like an old video and he said I looked like a cloud.
Yeah.
I was definitely fuller. But I've always been in this headspace because before running, I was playing like relatively high level rugby as a wing, and
Okay.
my coaches were always like, just watch, like just chill out a bit on the weights, like you don't want to like, because that's gonna reduce my effectiveness in that position. So I've always been like aware of it and like quite intentional about not like getting carried away.
Yeah.
But like in my 5-month break, I went up from like 93, 94 to like 98,
It's quite heavy.
by doing nothing different. Like I was just like eating and not running that much and training normally. So I think if I kind of like lived my like kind of unstructured life, like as if I just kind of did whatever, I would like just slowly but surely just get like just get like
bigger and bigger.
bigger and bigger, bro. Which I don't think is particularly healthy. I think eventually you get to a point where it's like it's so heavy on your joints, and even at like 97, I was like, this doesn't
Going
feel
for a
right.
run must feel heavy as
Bro,
fuck.
it felt so like it was like laborious. I was like fucking working, bro, just to like go one foot
Yeah.
after the other.
I think your body like finds homeostasis so like quite quickly. Like I know when I was doing triathlon, like keeping on weight was super, super difficult. And that's just because I just don't eat enough, and you're burning like if you're burning like 3,000-4,000 calories a day, I ain't putting that in.
Yeah, true. Unless you eat a stick of butter, bro, that'll help. Like drink olive oil.
What was that thing back in the day? Serious Mass. I don't know if you ever took
Yes,
that.
I did take serious maths in grade 10.
Yeah.
That's a throwback.
I wouldn't recommend taking that, but it's like I would lose a lot of weight going into like that kind of prep, and then coming out of that, my body would just kind of like go back to homeostasis, like kind of where it is now, and that's around like the low 80s. A couple of years ago, it probably was like 90, 95 when I just gymmed and I didn't do like any endurance stuff.
Bro, you must have been huge. Like you're in good shape right now. So like another 15 kilos, that's pretty crazy. Or like 12
Probably
kilos.
like 10, 12 from where I was now. Not
That's
bigger
a
than I am
lot.
now, yeah.
You're probably so like imposing and
Yeah, and it's always
scary.
like quite lean as well.
Okay. Did you look like a bit of like a juice head?
No, I don't think that bad.
Okay.
It's actually like deceiving. Like, it's not as much like muscle's heavy, eh? Like muscle's
Mm.
super dense. I don't think I'd be as big as you.
You're also quite tall. You're like
Yeah.
6'1", 6'2".
I'd imagine I'm like 80, somewhere between like 82 to 84 now, somewhere in that range, I reckon.
Mm.
Then I was like 90 to 95, which is it's a lot more than I am now.
What do you feel the best at?
This weight now.
Your
This is like my kind of like natural happy weight. It's like a little bit of gym and lifting, probably like a pretty good diet in terms of like calories in, calories out. Body's just kind of like happy here. Like I feel good on a run, I feel good in the gym.
That's what you want.
If it goes up from here, like weight wise, like I did High Rocks. When was High Rocks? A couple months ago, and then I packed on size because like that muscle memory, and that's why I was asking you like, did you used to be like a lot more jacked? Because I feel like the body's got like this like really impressive ability to kind of like quickly adapt to something that has been exposed to before. So like I put on a little more size and was feeling fucking heavy on those runs.
Mm.
And then I think I went up to like 85, 86. And just like that 3 kilos made like a big difference. But yeah, like this is my happy weight. Like I think going into December, I'd probably like a little more, everyone wants to look a little more jacked at the beach. And then like running like any sort of like long distance race, probably try and get as close to like 80 as possible.
Mm.
Like light is better. But that's also where you get like injured and
Yeah, when you're super light and you're low body fat, you're far more susceptible to getting hurt.
yeah.
I think you're a lot more vulnerable.
So I think like you're probably cutting calories, and cutting calories means like less nutrition in your body, means like less ability for your body to like recover as well as it should, and you're like upping training load, but you're reducing fuel, and it's like I think it's a bit of a mess.
It's a very tricky thing to get right, and I must give a huge shout out to Kerry Lamboy, Kerry dietitian, because I picked her brain a couple of times on the pod and then also just in text. Because I've had that issue. Whenever I prep, when I get to a certain point, I start getting shin splints and all these things because I'm trying to keep the calories under control. And she really helped me with like nutrient timing, free of charge and everything. It was really cool of her.
Nice.
And I felt amazing on this prep. Like like watching my carbs, being very intentional with that, getting that nice and high, like before and during a workout. Because you do need to really be careful if you trying to cut some weight and perform. It's like your body it's two opposing things, right?
Yeah, training going up and fuel going down is like probably not the way that it should be. Also really struggle with shin splints, and I know as soon as like I start dropping body weight, shin splints just gets like out of hand.
I think that's a calorie thing, bro. Energy balance. It's like you're just not getting enough nutrients. I would imagine. But yeah, Tristan, thank you. Appreciate you. Really enjoyed the chat. I'm going to let these members flood back down into here. People want to find you or find PrimeSelf, where do they go?
Social media is probably the easiest, like Instagram, PrimeSelf. I think it's PrimeSelf ZA, maybe it's just PrimeSelf. I should probably know.
I don't know, bro. I'll quickly check.
Otherwise, our website's got everything PrimeSelf.co.za, but I think Instagram these days is like the core easiest place to find everybody. PrimeSelf ZA.
Okay.
So it's
alrighty. Yeah, so you heard it here, guys. Thank you for listening. Go find PrimeSelf online. Otherwise, come to Horizon Gym. We've got it on the shelves. Only 3 products, though, actually. Day, night, and whey protein. It's been a pleasure. And all the best with when you do get stuck into your sub-3 prep. But I'm not jealous of you, so enjoy that. We'll catch you all in the next episode.
okay. Thanks, man.
Shots, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to the show, guys. We love answering specific questions. So if there's anything you want to know, leave a comment or reach out to us directly at HorizonZA on Instagram or email us at movement@horizongym.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Seb Prentice, and this is Beyond Physical.